Hey, how you doing? This is Sean, FosterSCMods, and I want to go over here the Challenger Charger Hellcat install on the firewall and how the sound tube itself goes through the firewall and then the diaphragm cap gets installed. This is very easy actually on these cars because in the back of the firewall on the passenger side there is a large rubber grommet that fits into a hole that is, this is a representation here of the firewall and the hole that's there. It's about a 1 1/4 inch hole in the firewall, and it has a large plug in it with a very small black air line going through it. And on these, basically, you're going to pull that plug out, pull straight back at you, and you're going to move that that line to the side. And basically, what you're going to be doing is drilling a hole on the side here, and then you're going to move that line to the side, so you're going to be able to install the firewall through this hole. So you don't need to, after you drill this hole and you move the line and you take that plug off, you don't need to do any more drilling this hole to get the sound tube in. The sound tube fits right in it. All you need to do is put some lube on the sound tube end, and you can see that there's an end of the sound tube here that has about 1 1/4 to 1.5 inches of hose exposed here after the heat shrink, and that's so you can install it either through a grommet or through the firewall. So on the Charger, Challenger, and Hellcats, you don't use a grommet. You don't have to re-drill this hole. It's a finished hole. All you do is pull that plug out, then drill this to move the airline over, and then you're going to push this through. And it's very simple. It actually pushes through very simply like this. You seat it. There you go. That's installed. This would be the firewall side, engine side here. This would be under the dash on this side here. So you're going to be able to reach under the dash. You're going to see this coming through, and then you're going to install the hose bar, you're going to install the diaphragm cap. Diaphragm cap has to be installed to seal the sound tube off, because you cannot have any air, unfiltered air or unmetered air going into this sound tube, because this connects to the inlet pipe, and that's metered air. Depending on the application, some applications it's a speed density or volumetric efficiency type calibration and a system that reads fuel and air, but most of them are mass air meter, and that cannot have an air leak. So anyways, once you have this through the firewall on the Hellcat, you're going to install your diaphragm cap. You reach up in there and it's that easy. Boom. This is airtight now. This is sealed. You are not going to have any air leaks. And then, of course, on this end, this is going to go to the inlet pipe. So on the Charger Hellcats, the inlet comes out on the towards the driver's side. And I'm sorry, I made a mistake before when I talked about this hole here. This hole that is in the firewall and this plug, the plug that you pull out, is actually on the driver's side. It's not on the passenger side, so let's keep that in mind. But anyways, this is a mock-up piece. It has lots of holes because I've done a lot of different things with this here, but there's basically two types of entries into the inlet system. There's either a side entry like this one here. This is for a Whipple, and in other words, the sound tube is going to connect to the side through a hose barb that's straight. Or you're going to have a 90-degree fitting like this, and the 90 degrees most of the time are drilled directly on the bottom of the inlet pipe and installed, and like you can see on this one or on this one here. So on the Charger, Hellcats, and Challenger, it's going to go most of the time on the bottom. Sometimes they have a silicone elbow, and the only good place to really drill it is on the side. And I have another video that shows you how to drill silicone and use a straight hose barb through it. But most of the applications, it's going to go on the bottom with this 90. You're going to drill it to 1 1/4, and then you're going to install the short end of the hose barb. And this one, once I'll show you here, once these are in and they've set up, they are super tight and they don't move. And then this end of the sound tube is going to be installed into this hose barb and seated all the way to the bottom. And that's basically, go ahead and just seat it so you can see what that looks like. And that's basically the install on those. Very simple. There, that slides right on with some grease. So that's basically the way this would look. This is a short mock-up version, but firewall end here, and then your inlet. Your engine would be here, and this, usually they curve around towards the driver's side, and the air filter would be over here in this section, and this is the 90 that goes underneath, is drilled on the bottom. So that's basically it in the concept. This is a sound tube path. This is where the rotor pulses actually enter, go through into the cabin, and then it comes through this very thin membrane, which is the diaphragm cap, and you cannot puncture this material here. It's a clear, durable membrane, but you got to make sure you don't puncture that. It stays tight, and this stays airtight. And that's it, guys. Thank you.